Ooh. There you go. Hey, Sam. Okay, Sam. So I'm gonna see what this is going to do. I'm gonna end the live, and then I'm gonna see if it saves afterwards. So that's what I want to do real quick. Unless you want to do it on my live, it doesn't matter. I guess we're gonna do the live on mine. It's only this one dread that we don't
Hey,
have.
what's up?
What's
Uh-oh, let
up?
me pause. Am I slow?
Nope, you good.
All right, you sound good. What's going on?
What's up, Mr. Make It Happen? What's up, 100 Strong? How are you?
Yeah. Hey, I just recorded a podcast, episode number 4. You should check it
Okay.
out.
Yes, go ahead and do your shout out. Everyone that doesn't know, he asked me to do a questionnaire with him. So we're going to go ahead and do it on my live. Stay tuned.
Yeah,
He's going to ask me questions. We're going to get
yeah.
some raw material right now. So,
All right, so I sound good.
yes.
All
Hello.
right. What's your name? If you was introducing yourself, what's your name?
Well, my name is Ray Keisha. I go by Q, Ray, or Keisha, depending on where I met you. Ray, if I know you at work. Q in the streets. But yep, that's kind of where I go, depending on how I met you, where I met you.
Okay, where you from?
I'm originally from California. Moved to Tampa. Been here for about 14 years, so I am a Floridian.
All right. So, I'm an older guy, man. I'm in my mid 30s and stuff, and I talk to a lot of young people. A lot of young people watch me and things like that. So I just want to know from you, you know, a little bit of experiences you've been through and how do you seem to make it through those experiences, without giving up. So just for the beginning, what era do you miss the most? Like the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s. What era do you
I
miss
would
the
say
most?
definitely early 2000s, definitely. But I miss those eras. Life was a lot more simpler.
Yeah. High school.
Yep, they didn't have to pay no bills. They didn't have to do too much. Just live life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was you a young parent or
No,
when did you?
my oldest is 12. I'm 34. So I had him, at a reasonable age, not young like 16, what most people would say young
Do
is.
you know people that did have babies at a young age?
In my crowd, no. As I got older, that's when I met a lot more women that did have younger kids, or kids at a younger age.
Yeah. Because sometimes that's uh, a tough thing to do is take care of a child at a young age. But I know some people that made it through that though. I know
Yeah,
some people who actually had that one. They waited a long time, found a good man. So it
yeah,
could go either way. But that's good, man, that you was uh, you know, pretty good age when you had children.
yeah.
So what do you think is wrong with a new relationship today? What do you think
Stress.
new relationships suck? So what do you think about that? Tell me what you think.
Well, I feel like new relationships nowadays, it's kind of a give and take. A lot of people have their own perspective on relationships now. They kind of look at it like who's doing what more, who's coming out of pocket more. It's like, if and a lot of times some of these relationships is one person is pulling all the money and the other person is kind of staying at home. From the different types of relationships I've seen, but a lot of this now is situationships. There is no relationships nowadays. I'll say that it's
And
situations.
it do matter where you met him or her, right? You
Yeah,
think that make a difference,
yeah,
right? So if a
hmm,
guy hollering at you in the club, you know what he about, right?
yeah,
just being real. Because, in the city, you can go to any kind of club you want, but if a guy approach you in a dark place or something like that, you kind of know his intention. He probably a little intoxicated or whatever. So some women are attracted to that, and they expect what? Like,
But
it's
see,
irrelevant.
I feel that even if I meet a person in that type of situation or environment, that it shouldn't justify that you treat me a certain way because you met me in that environment. You can meet me in a restaurant and still treat me like you met me in that environment. It doesn't make it right. No, you know.
Right.
Me personally, I did not like that type of mind frame. So I didn't find myself meeting, well, I would meet guys, but I would blow them off because I didn't think that me meeting in the club is going to go any further.
Okay. Yeah. All
So when
right.
you,
So, what would advice? What advice? Because you're older now. So, if there was a girl who just graduated, she probably ain't going to college or nothing. What kind of advice would you give that young female? Like, she grew up in the hood, like we did. What kind of advice would you give her? Would you, what would you tell a person that age? What kind of advice would you give them?
to really get, to really get to know a person, it has a lot of things entitled with that as well. You have to go out a lot more with the person. You want to see different emotions out of a person because, there's red flags that you got to look for. Just, don't limit yourself as well, because nowadays, like I said, situationships, people are talking to multiple people. In some situations, y'all end up going from friends to bae, and then y'all in a relationship, and there was no real courting. There wasn't someone saying, hey, let's take this to the next level. It just, bam, you guys are in a relationship. And I think that's where a lot of mistakes happen. And
Yeah.
that's why I would tell some of my friends now, hey, be careful about that, because sometimes you just have to take your time to get to
Yeah.
know somebody. Definitely don't try to move anybody in, male or female. Don't move somebody in, within the first 6 months. I would say at least wait about a year to,
What,
kind of
what,
commit
what
that.
about what about the work field? Like she's 18. Nobody's gonna give her the guide to life. What Give her a cheat code, like things to watch out for, work field, and you really good with relationships. I'm gonna say that. You pretty good with that. Some people don't never get it.
Yeah,
So like an 18-year-old, because I know my daughters are looking. So
yeah.
my daughters are gonna see this. What kind of advice would you give that young lady?
Now, as far
This
as
is your
looking,
chance.
you mean like as far as her going, like finding a job or
Everything.
dealing?
Like, what do I do? Like, where do I start? All right. I just finished high school. What do I do? Because my sister went to prison when she was
Mm,
18 out of high school, hanging
okay.
around the wrong person. And she did 5 years. And she's
Wow.
going to see this too. So it's like, what can we do to help the younger ones? Because they really, you
Lost.
know,
Well, for me, I would say we're in the age where entrepreneurship is very big. Securing the bag is the main focus nowadays. And I wish that I grew up in this era of having more of the business mentality. For me, I would say, if you work at McDonald's, go for that manager position. You know why? Because that manager position, sorry, opens doors for a manager position anywhere. Do not look at the title of the job called McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, because they move their employees so fast that you can make so much money once you're there. And then you can use that on your resume and take it anywhere else. Once you have that manager position or assistant manager position, you can take that anywhere to any job because it shows that you know how to manage people, you have responsibilities, you know how to conduct yourself. So don't look at McDonald's as a bad thing because it definitely isn't. I would say if I would have known that younger, I would have probably stuck with
secure the
McDonald's.
bag.
And because I worked for McDonald's, that was like my second job. Publix was my first job, but I definitely would have used that for my advantage, and that way I could have been in a better position at the age I am now.
That is good, man. And young girls need to hear that because they don't need to go to the dude that sell drugs. You know,
Yeah, I
I
understand.
went to King,
I
I
know.
went to King High School, and they love the drug dealers. And I don't care how handsome I was. If I wasn't spoiling them and doing this, they'll leave me for the drug dealer. And all the drug dealers not here right now. So the
And that's
young ladies
because
need.
that money is fast money. So they get that money the same day versus the paycheck, waiting 2 weeks. They didn't want to wait the 2 weeks. And unfortunately for that, that's why they're not here. But, for that, they had to move differently. I had a friend that she loved that type of mentality too. Yeah, I dibbled and dabbed in that as well. But seeing what she went through, she was in a shootout. She almost got killed, and it opened my eyes because of what he was going through and who he was beefing with. They didn't care about who he was with.
Mhm.
He just got caught up, and she got caught up with it too.
Yeah. I got some stories about Nucio, man. And, I went to high school there for years, and oof, yeah, when you're young, you don't think straight. So if
Yeah,
we can just get one person in high school or whatever, a young adult, because you think when you're 18, you're grown, and that's not true. When I was 20, I thought I really knew everything, and now that I'm a lot older than that, you live and you learn. And I work with a lot of young guys, like I told you before, who really don't know really nothing, and they have a dad or they have their mom, but I just want to help people if I can.
yeah.
So I have another question for you.
Okay.
What can men do better for their woman? What can they do better?
I don't know. Hold on. Yes. Okay, in a minute. I'll be up in a second. Okay. My little one, he wants his homework. I definitely would say for men, they need to be a little bit more involved with the family aspect. If you're out there on the block doing what you're doing, that's cool, but put some time away for your family, your kids, because you get pulled. Hold on, you could get caught up at any time. Hey,
Hmm.
you could get caught up at any time. Let me go ahead and shut that. You get caught up at any time, and then you're gone for 2, 3, 10 years, and you're wondering what happened to your family. Your girl then moved on. She got a new family. You're upset. It's things like that. That's why for me, as I got older, I had to realize that it's not about that fast money, getting that I'd rather for a guy to have that 9 to 5 job because it's not about the security. It's the security of the mentality of I don't have to worry about you getting caught up in the streets and going up the road. Then I gotta pay for the phone. Then I gotta send you money for food. And it
A
sounds
lot of women
selfish.
don't ride. A lot of women don't ride, and uh,
See, that's the thing. Men expect a female to ride. I don't. And the reason
what
why they expect that is
women cheat the
because
most because a man is on his 9 to 5 too much, right?
listen, I was in an Uber where the man, a guy found his girl was cheating at him, and he was like, he does AC work, and he was upset about that he found out she was cheating, and he was like, all I do is work. I work, 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 work. Why would she? I said, because for females, we are looking for the companionship of, yeah, you work, but where's my time? Where do I get to have that break? Especially when there's a kid involved. Men could be out there working, 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 but us women, if we're home, we're a stay-at-home mom, we're staying at home all day, every day. We're with that child. So we don't get that mentality, that mental break because we're home with the kids all the time. But as far as a man that's on the block, he comes and goes, he's there, he could drop the money off. It's the same thing. That's a 9 to 5 job for them as well. because they're in a routine. They have to go to sleep, they have to wake up, and they're back on the go.
Yep.
So in a way, being on the block is the same way as a 9 to 5. So what a man can do better to help the household is realize that no matter which way you're working in the streets or in someone's office, you still need to be able to give that person that you're dealing with that mental break. Hey, let me take the kids off off your back for a couple hours, and you go do what you need to do. And then watch her whole mentality change towards you. She's not going to be
Right.
she's not going to be frustrated. She's not going to be thinking all kinds of crazy things because you're out doing what you're doing. She's going to be like, oh God, I'm able to have my hair down and relax and go chill with my homegirls. And that's what a lot of relationships lack too, is a lot of trust as well.
And my final question.
What's your
Question.
question?
And be real with me now. What can women do better? Because this is something that I really need people to hear. Because women ain't perfect, but y'all some strong creatures. Y'all put up with a lot. Y'all definitely, I can't watch no kids for a long period of time. I got to work. I got to do this. I have to protect. I have to provide. That's
Yeah.
my job. But women, y'all do go through a lot. What can y'all do better to kind of keep a man happy? What can y'all do better?
Stop bitching so much. To be honest, but as a woman, we forget that you guys have needs as well too. We forget that you guys have wants. You guys want to be pampered and taken care of and loved on as much as us. There's a lot of men that want that same type of, hugs and kisses and lovey-dovey type of shit. It's not always being hard all the time. Some men like that, and sometimes as
Sometimes
women,
we want peace and quiet too.
yeah, that too. Yeah, well, I was gonna get to that, but
Mhm.
like for me, like with mine, I like to play video games. I'll play the game. I'll play some Call of Duty or something. Some racing games, things like that. But at the same time, I'm gonna have my space. I'm gonna give you your space. Let you play the game by yourself. For me, I'm the type of female that when my dude comes home, hey, dinner's already done. But I already know the schedule. Okay, this is about the time frame he's gonna be done. The food is gonna be hot. It's not gonna be where you have to rewarm that shit up. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, do you wash your back? Because at the same time, it's the same thing I would want. He's like, he's so sick.
Wow.
That's
All that.
So I do that. You know what I mean? Like I like to, because of the same thing I like to have my body massaged, my feet rubbed. You know what I mean? I'll do the
Right.
same thing for mine. I have done that. Maybe that's probably why they act the way they act. But that's just what I do. It just I try to reciprocate everything, because if I want it, who's to say the next person doesn't want that same thing?
Right. Man, it was so good talking to you. We got a lot more talking to do. But this one, oh my God, I hope everything go right.
I know, because I know you want to do this live on yours. Y'all, he was asking me questions from his point of view, about relationships, about how we can be better as
Can we get a couple
men.
hearts, y'all, please? Or to the young crowd, because they need some help, man. They need some help. I got a 20-year-old,
Shit,
and
us older people still need help because we still have
we
things that we have to
still,
heal from.
yep,
We have
yep.
our own trauma. We're still trying to figure shit out our damn selves for these kids. You feel me? So
We
we
came from a
definitely need to
crazy
help.
era, and this era here is, oh man, damn, they dumb. But anyway, all right. So you take it easy, stay beautiful, and I will be contacting you very soon.
All right,
Thanks.
Lynn. No problem.
All right.